Good morning, everyone. This is Dan with Senior E-Bike Nation. I'm getting ready to ride my aerial rider, Rideal, my other e-bike, so I'm going to be pointing out a few things on this bike once we get on the trail here. So I just wanted to share with you, I talked earlier about carrying emergency information about you, and you can do that right inside your bike helmet. A lot of these helmets today now come with these little tags that you can actually put your information in, so I want to show you that before we get on our ride. But once I show you that, I will see you on the trail. This is the emergency information right inside this little tag that's built inside this helmet, so that's really cool. And emergency personnel know to look for that stuff. If you fall on the trail, you knock yourself out or whatever. So I just wanted to share that with you, and I'll see you on the trail. Good morning, everybody. Again, this is Dan with Senior E-Bike Nation. Again, we're going to do a 30-mile ride today, but I'm riding my different bike today called the Aerial Rider Rideal. It's an e-bike that I purchased from Marketplace that a guy was selling, and it was my first e-bike, so I didn't really want to jump into the big expensive e-bike till I really found one I could ride and see if it's something I wanted to do. So I purchased this thing, and when it was brand new, it only retailed for $1,000. But with the features that it had on it, that was pretty high end, actually, not on the price, but the features on the bike. So I purchased the bike for $750. And I asked him the reason that he was getting rid of the bike, because it was pretty much brand new. There was probably 50 to 100 miles on it. And he said he needed a bike that would go faster because he rode his bike to work every day. So he wanted a commuter bike, but he wanted something that had more speed to it. So I purchased the bike and had no problems with it whatsoever. And still don't to this day have any problems whatsoever with this bike. It's got a 750 watt rear hub motor on it, which is a Bafang motor, which is again top of the line motor. It's got 5 different pedal assist modes. Right now, as you can see, I'm down in pedal assist 3, and I'm cruising along about 14 miles an hour. And I bought a product to actually speed the bike up faster than 20 mile an hour, which is that's what they had the bike restricted to on the controller. So I purchased this device online called an Egg Rider, which is this device right here on my left, that little box. And then it syncs with your phone, of course, so you can see all the display on your phone as you're riding. Now the Egg Rider will actually increase this bike to about 24 to 25 mile an hour. So I guess if that guy would have known that was out there, he might have invested just about $120 versus investing another couple thousand for an e-bike. But anyway, the Egg Rider has really performed really well. I've had no problems with it whatsoever. So that's helped increase the speed of the bike as well. It's a very quiet motor. I certainly think it may be even quieter than my Cyrush or Komoda bike that I ride. It's just a very comfortable bike. I did add a couple things to the bike. As you can tell, I added these additional handlebars to it, and I added a mirror to it down here. And it already came with the basket on the front. And we're going to be stopping at the food pantry blessing box and dropping off some more food for people. So we're doing that on the way here to my 30-mile ride. And it's got a half twist throttle over here on the right. So that helps you going up hills and things like that. So what I basically did was unplug this controller here on the left and plugged it into the egg rider, and that just plugs right into the controller. And then you set up the settings that they recommend for that particular bike, and everything else should just work flawlessly. We're getting a lot of leaves falling now. It's a little chilly out here today. It's probably, oh, I'm thinking 45 right now. I'm dressed for it. But it's a beautiful day. I really like riding in this time of year. I like colder weather as well. I mean, I can't wait to ride in the wintertime. As long as there's nice on the trails, I'll be out. I don't care if there's snow. I'll get that fat tire bike out and see what it does in the snow. It's only my first year doing that, so I'm looking forward to that. But again, today I'm going to put this aerial rider through its paces here. Once we get on up a little ways, I'll tell you when I'm going to do it. We're going to go put it through 1 through 5 on the pedal assist. Now, if you go to look for this bike online, it's no longer available. I don't know why they discontinued it. They replaced it with a another 26-inch fat tire bike, though, called the Kepler. And that's what replaced the aerial rider Rideal. I'm hoping someday that I can find me a Kepler. Maybe the manufacturer watch these videos and things that I'm doing, and maybe send me an e-bike on the Kepler so I can review it for you. My channel primarily is designed to help seniors and people with limited disabilities to ride e-bikes. That's really what my channel is all about. But I do get onto some different topics about my life and my journey through life, and I'll talk about the economy sometimes, but I typically try to focus on what my channel's about, which is my bike. So again, the only thing you got to worry about on these leaves when you get out like this is they get wet. The trail gets a little bit slippery, so you got to be a little careful. But for the most part, the parks keep these trails pretty clean with these big leaf blowers that come through and clear this trail off. But if you got any questions about this bike, put them down in the comments section. And of course, share and like and subscribe to my channel. My channel is growing quite a bit now since I've launched it about 3 months ago. I probably got 95 videos, and I'm starting to get a lot of subscribers. Well, not a lot compared to some channels. I mean, I'm just now approaching 100, and there's some channels got 500,000 subscribers, but they've been at it to about 7 to 8 years as well on YouTube, and I'm only about 3 months into it. So, and I don't do it for the monetization of the channel. I don't care about making money on this thing. My intent is to educate seniors that they just don't need to sit at home. They can be out riding, whether it be on a bike trail or on a road or city streets. These bikes are legal. You don't need to have insurance on them. You don't need to have license plates on them. They're certainly going to save you on gas where the price of gas is today. So I encourage seniors to get out and ride. Got the wind coming out of the southeast today, so I'll be riding into the wind here a little bit. Here again is a little bit about the graffiti on these buildings. It's got some great artwork. I try to show that as much as I can. I have replaced brakes on this bike because I put almost 2,700 miles on it already. I've had it about a little over a year now, so I put on lots of miles. And I had to replace the tires on it because they were bald. And when I changed the brakes out, I went for mechanical brakes, which came on this bike, and I installed hydraulic brakes on this bike, which is a lot better than mechanical brakes. Coming up the only hill we have on this entire trail for this 15 miles that we're riding, or 30 miles, this is the only little hill we have. So I'm just going to half throttle up the hill up here a little bit. I'm not going to increase the pedal assist. I'm just going to use my half throttle, which does assist going up these hills quite a bit. And with this egg rider, I mean, it shows you the percentage of battery left. It shows you what amp hours you're riding out, voltage, how many miles that you can ride on this charge, how many minutes you've been riding. So that's the difference between this one and my Cyrusher Komoda. Doesn't have those features on it. Now I'm going to bump it up here to pedal assist 4, which is probably going to get us about 18 to 19 mile an hour. Yeah, right now we're cruising along pretty easy at 18 mile an hour here. And I'll go this speed probably the rest of the way. About another 13 miles on my ride to get to the halfway point. Again, I'll have to stop at the blessing box up here and put some food in there. That's part of my, I call it my bicycle ministry. So as Jesus said, I was hungry and you fed me. I am a Christian, and certainly I am a conservative. But God gets all the glory. Everything in our life it's God. As they say, if He'll get you to it, He'll get you through it. But this bike trail is really flat the entire 15 miles that I'm going. And of course, it used to be an old rail trail. And as I mentioned, the Parks Department takes care of the trail as far as the maintenance, removing trees and things like that when they fall on the trail. But I really like riding both of my bikes. This one's a little more difficult for me to get on and off because it's a step through. I mean, sorry, it's got the bar that comes clear across the top, so I got to lean the bike over quite a bit to get my leg over the bag and everything is on the back of my bike, which I'll be showing you all of that stuff when I get up to my 15-mile marker. Probably won't get as much distance today on a full charge battery. It's colder out today, and these batteries, these lithium batteries, just don't like this cold weather a whole lot. I'm down to about 87% now, and I've come almost 4 miles. But that's kind of normal. And of course, the colder it gets as I ride through the winter, it's going to decrease my mileage I'm able to ride, of course. A little bit about battery maintenance. If you're going to ride your bike once a month or once every 2 months, you'll want to keep your batteries charged between 20% and 80%. Even 30-70 would be good. You don't want a full charge battery when you store it long term, or do you want it completely below 30%? Because these batteries do not handle it well long-term storage when they're real low or charged fully. So I highly recommend, if you're going to store these batteries long term, even for the winter, if you're not going to ride in the winter time, you're going to want to keep them charged between 30 and 70%. And that's easy to do by either riding it or whatever to keep it between those percentages. Then, of course, when you get back on your bike, if you're down at the 30 or 70%, you're going to want to charge it fully before you ride it. And you want to charge it in warmer condition if you can. I recommend keeping e-bike batteries inside in the wintertime, if you can. Most batteries will come off the bike, so you can store them inside. Now, when you're charging the bikes, I use these aluminum foil pans that you like put turkeys in, and I put my batteries in my controllers. On your left, I put my batteries and my charging units. I put them in aluminum foil pans because if you get them hot enough, and they don't, and most batteries, by the way, the chargers are designed to shut off once that battery is fully charged. But you'll see news every now and then where you'll see a battery catches fire on an e-bike, somebody's apartment or something. So if you keep them inside something, at least to keep the fire somewhat contained inside to where it's not spreading. I recommend charging a battery, if you can, in a garage or in a shed. But in the wintertime, I will charge them inside, but I don't go anywhere either, leaving those batteries plugged into the charger. That's one thing I don't do. Okay, we'll come up in here on the blessing box. We're going to see what we get this today here. A few things have been taken out of here again. So I'm going to get off my bike here a little bit, and you can put this stuff in here. Bear with me. Yeah, get this bag opened up here. Yep, dropping a couple things out here. Okay, I'm gonna be putting some tomato soup in here and some ramen noodles. As you can see, there's a few things put in here already. Like I said, I'm gonna drop some ramen noodles in here for people. And what I'll do is when I go to the grocery store, like Aldi's or one of them, I'll buy a few things for these blessing boxes, so I can help keep this thing full for people. Now, this little pantry here is called the Little Free Pantry. Take what you need, donate what you can. Feed the creek. So, I really encourage people, if they can help keep food in this in these pantries, would be really good. So I'll put in some chicken noodle soup and some country sausage gravy and tomato soup, and of course I'm telling you about the ramen noodles. I put them in here. It's not a whole lot in here right now, but people stop by every now and then, put food in this, so that's really nice to help people that are in need of the food. As I mentioned before on my video, there are 1 in 6 people in the United States alone has food insecurity. They go hungry every night. 1 in 6. That's a astounding number to me. But anyway, that's what we do with that one. Get back on my bike here and we'll continue our ride. So I ride this bike so I can use that front basket up here, so I can put that food in there for keeping that pantry box filled. We're almost 5 miles in now. And we're only about 23 minutes so far on the ride. Takes me almost 50 to 55 minutes to get to my halfway point. As I mentioned, I try to do this 3 to 4 days a week. This is only my second day this week since Monday, because I've had some appointments I needed to go to from myself or my wife. And I'll probably ride tomorrow and Saturday. Try to get my 120 miles in for the week. And this is great exercise, people. I burn anywhere from 1,000 to 1,500 calories every ride I do, every 30-mile ride. And as I mentioned before, people don't think that you're exercising, that you're not burning calories, you're cheating. I've heard it all. But every time you turn these pedals, you're exercising, you're burning calories. Got a small squeak, I think, in this rear tire on this hydraulic brake. I got to try to adjust that a little bit. Not bad, but I can hear it. Yeah, we got the wind coming in our face today, so coming back, it won't be so bad. Now to just decrease your distance just a little bit, riding into the wind, but not bad. Now in this part of the trail, they've kept just about all the leaves off the trail. We may see a deer or two today on the trail. Haven't seen one for a couple weeks, but they're about ready to head into their rut season, so we might see a couple deer on the trail today. Of course, I see your normal stuff, your rabbits and your squirrels. See that stuff all the time. Well, like I said, if you wanted to leave comments down below about e-bikes that you ride, or things that you want to share with other e-bike riders on my channel, that would be really nice. So it makes a nice little community. I'll be 71 in November. And I've probably been riding e-bikes now for about a year and a half on a regular basis. I used to ride my 10-speed all the time, and my 10-speed mountain bike a lot. I still own them, but I don't ride them near as much as I used to. Once I got an e-bike, I got spoiled. but it makes riding so much more enjoyable, where you're not wearing yourself out riding your bike. And as I mentioned, people with limited disabilities, it really helps them. And so if you're getting much older where you have trouble lifting your legs over things, I highly recommend you purchase yourself a step-through bike. Like my other bike is, I can just barely lift my leg to step over to get on it. As I mentioned, this one's a little more difficult to get on, but it's not too bad. Not many people out today. I've seen a couple walkers and things, but I don't think we've seen a bike yet. On your left. And it's a weekday, so it's not as many people going to be on the trail anyway. But as I mentioned, I ride this year-round. I've been out, it's 10 degrees out riding my bike. I can dress for it. But you got to make sure that you're dressed appropriately for it too, because that wind's pretty cold against your face. So I have a face bivaka that I'll wear when it gets really cold out. I've got hand warmers that I'll put on my gloves. You can buy anywhere, purchase them like on Amazon. They're little square hand warmers where they'll stay warm for 6 to 7 hours once you take them and activate them. Just by shaking them, it activates the hand warmer. So I put them inside my gloves. Now on these batteries, I've got covers that I put on them in the wintertime. I don't know how much it helps. The degradation is not quite as bad on the battery once you keep it warmer. Sometimes it gets really cold. I'll put a couple hand warmers right on the battery as I'm riding. It does seem to help quite a bit. Coming up on 911 Memorial here, you'll see this steel up here that come out of the North Tower, I believe. A little memorial we have here. Yeah, this bike doesn't have dual suspension like my other bike's got, so it's a little rougher riding, but it's not bad. But it's just a gorgeous day out here riding. I look forward to this every day. Again, though, you gotta like doing it. I tried going to the gym, like under Silver Sneakers and stuff and all that, all the free memberships, but I just had a difficult time going to the gym 3 or 4 days a week. To me, it was very monotonous. You know, lifting weights and running on treadmills or riding these stationary bicycles, I just didn't like that a whole lot. I'd rather be out on my bike like I am, getting fresh air. To me, it's just so much better to do. Might have a e-bike coming up here. He's got his lights flashing, as you can see. I would say that's probably an e-bike. Might be wrong, but it does appear to be a bicycle. Right now we just hit our halfway point to my first half of the ride. We're about 7.5 miles right now. And we're down to about 75% on the battery, which is pretty much average for the weather. Yep, I do believe that was an e-bike we just passed. I pretty much see the same people on the trails when I'm out. Everybody's got their little routine, what days they ride typically. But as you can see, the bike is really quiet. Well, we have the midterm elections coming up here on November the 8th, and I highly recommend people get out and vote. It's going to be a very important election this time around. We got to stop all this nonsense spending that's going on in this administration. We're up to over $31 trillion in debt now. And I do believe Potato Head has probably added between 3 to 5 trillion to that total. So I don't get which way you vote, but just get out and vote. Let your voice be heard. Just because it's a midterm election doesn't mean that it's not important. And a lot of people just don't pay attention to the news. They don't want to, and that's fair enough, but I don't like sticking my head in the sand either. I want to know what's going on around me and what's going on in the world. I noticed the GDP did come up a little bit this time. Of course, the markets reacted to that. But we don't really know how much that the Fed may be holding up these markets right now. I think things are much worse than what they're telling us. Got to take a little detour right here. Yeah, the Republicans have a really good chance of taking both houses this time around. But if you go back through history, you'll notice the midterms, there's a change there. With the sitting president in office, usually you'll see a change in the Senate and the House in the Republican Democrat side. I don't get all swallowed up in all of it, I don't think the world's going to end tomorrow, and I believe there is a shortage of food in this world. I'm a prepper by nature, so I'm one of those 1%ers. I prep. I probably got 6 months to a year prepped. Getting ready to turn right back up here to get back on the road, or the bike trail. They want you to go left back there and go another 2 miles out of the way, and I just get right back on the road and ride up here and get back on the trail. And we'll get right back up here on the trail here in a minute. Yeah, we're back on the trail. Got rid of that little detour. Got a little better than 9 miles now, so we got about 6 more to go. Yeah, there's only a couple things I changed out on this bike. I did add a bag to it. On the back, if I remember right, I had to buy a back rack for it either, so to put my bag on. I don't think that came with the bike. I can't really remember now, but I know it had the basket on the front. And I added a little Bluetooth speaker up here. I don't know if you can see that now, but sometimes I'll listen to music or podcasts when I'm not recording. Boy, these guys wearing shorts in this kind of weather. I'm not that brave. We're down to about 67% of the battery. A little over 9 miles. It's used a little more battery than normal with the colder weather. As you can see, the Parks Department's really done a good job keeping these leaves off the trail. They were pretty heavy on this trail when I was riding through here Monday. So they've done a nice job on the maintenance on them. As I mentioned on some other videos, Ohio has some of the best bike trails in the nation, if not the best. We're going to come up on a place up here where my halfway point called Xenia Station, average speed, which is kind of a central hub for all the bike trails. They all kind of connect at this location. But I could get on a bike trail and probably not have to get off a bike trail unless there's construction going on somewhere. I may not have to get on the road anywhere in Ohio. I could just stay on a bike trail. Now, getting onto my bike trail from my house, I've only got 4/10 of a mile to get on the bike trail, and then I ride the whole 15 miles up to my location. So I've only got 8/10 of a mile that I have to ride on a local road just to get from my house and back. That's pretty good. Well, they got a sign up here. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know if they got a trail closed or what up here, but have to see what they're doing. I don't think we've had enough rain up here to flood this overpass we got to go under. That's usually the only place we'll see that. So it does say men working up here, so we'll have to see what it is. I think it's just where they're the power company's tying in these poles over here. I think that's what that was, because now this construction is ended. Getting ready to cross a river up here. We got a little rain the other night for the first time in about 2-3 weeks. We needed a rain. It was getting pretty dry, this neck of the woods. Of course, where I'm at is down in southwest Ohio. We're about 50 miles north of Cincinnati. On up here, there may be a little rooster we'll see on the trail or off the trail. He's always picking away right at this overpass, coming from one of these farms around here. But he always seems to be close to the trail every time I come through here. It'll be right before the bridge here or right after it if he's out. Nope, I don't see him out today. It must be too cold for him. But as you can see here, the trees are really changing now about there. All the leaves are pretty much falling off the trees here. I think we've passed our peak as far as autumn goes here. Crossing a few small intersections here that are not much traffic ever on them. Coming up on a little area up here called Care Speedway. Been there since the 1940s. A lot of drag racing goes on in the summer up here. Yeah, a couple bikers here in front of me. On your left. On your left. Thank you. But I see all ages people out riding this trail. Mostly you'll see a lot of seniors out here during the week because of course people at work or at school. But most of the time, you know, I give people credit. Just if they're going out riding regular bikes or e-bikes, you're out in getting this weather when it's not so bad. You're getting us exercise, and you can really smell the fall in the air now. I mean, with all the leaves. It won't be long now. The snow will be flying. As I mentioned, I can't wait till that happens because I want to get out and ride in my fat tire bike, my little 20-inch by 4-inch fat tire bikes. I want to see what it does in the snow. Gotta be a little careful on this one. It's they're 26-inch tires, but they're only about 1.95 on the width. So you got to be real careful in slick conditions. But I think that fat tire bike is going to really help getting out in the snow if we get any amount of snow this year. We're coming up on this intersection, and what I'm going to do is when I get up here, I'm going to go back down to pedal assist 1, and then I'm going to put this thing through its paces through pedal assist 5, and I'll tell you about the speeds I'm at. And so if you're looking to get an aerial rider, rather it be the Kepler or one of those, you'll kind of know what to expect out of the bike. Now remember, with having this egg rider on here, that changes the speed a little bit up.
Exercise ring closed.
There's that squeak I have in that tire. So right up here, I'm going to go down to pedal assist 1, and we're going to stop and put it through its paces here. Okay, we're going to go down to, like I said, pedal assist 1, and we're out there right now, as you can see. And we're going to see what speeds I can ride at this level. And of course, at this level, you're going to exercise more on this bike, especially because you're having to really push those pedals. And I'm only about 7-8 mile an hour right now. So we'll go up to pedal assist 2. And we're going to get to about 10 mile an hour maybe. So batteries is down to about 56%, so it's going to change that a little bit. Then when I give it up to pedal assist 3, we're probably going to get to be about 14 mile an hour, I think, somewhere around there. Actually about 13.6. And now we're going to go to pedal assist 4, which I was riding at for a long time. And we're going to get to about 17, 18 mile an hour. And that's the speed I normally will ride at. But we're going to bump it up now to pedal assist 5. That's the highest level. As you can see, it tops out about 20, 22 mile an hour once I get going. Now, if I had a full charge battery, I'd probably be riding at about 24, 25 mile an hour. But there's the top speed. And I'll stay in pedal assist 5 here, maybe all the way up. We only got about another 3 miles to go, so it'll bring that battery probably down to 40% time I get up there. But I'm comfortably riding now at 20 mile an hour in pedal assist 5. And my heart rate is normally between 100 to 120 when I'm riding my bike, depending on wind conditions and how much effort I want to put into the bike. So when you're riding in an hour at that heart rate, you're going to burn 1,000 to 1,500 calories. But as you can hear in the highest speed, this bike is very quiet. You can barely hear that motor running. So the comparison between this one and my Rusher fat tire bike, this one is much quieter at higher speeds. The motor on the Rusher seems to make a little more whining noise as it's going along, but it's normal. Where this one is extremely quiet.
But as I mentioned, the ride is still very comfortable on this bike. And a couple walkers coming here. Yeah, even if you get out and walk on these trails, I mean, you're going to get a lot of exercise. I can't walk as much as I used to. I used to walk 3 to 5 miles a day, in addition to what I normally would walk. But with both of my knees need replaced right now, unfortunately. They're bone on bone, but I'm avoiding surgery. I get shots in my knees about every 3 or 4 months, and it really seems to help. Plus, riding this bike strengthens the muscles and helps the cartilage and stuff that I have left in my knees. So I really love to walk, but I just can't do it as much as I used to, and maybe until I get my knees replaced. I'm not sure how far down the road I'm going to do that. The older I get, I know the harder that's going to get. But I'll probably have both knees done at the same time and just rehab from there. But riding this bike has certainly helped delay that decision. I don't have near the pain in my knees that I used to because, again, you're building a lot of muscle around those knees and your hips and things like that. And as far as riding your bike, how you sit on the bike is very important. I mean, your seat should be adjusted to where when you're on your downstroke of your pedal, that your knees are slightly bent. That's very important. And the same goes with your handlebars. You're going to want to make sure your elbows are just slightly bent, because that really helps your arms not having pain in your back. That really helps those things. On your left. Yeah, we're bumping the battery down a little bit. We're down to about 46% now. And we're about 1.5 miles out. So I would say the battery today versus warmer weather, say in the 70s, I may have lost 10% of my battery riding in the colder weather. So there is a difference when you're riding in colder weather. And I highly recommend when you go to buy a bike, an e-bike, that you purchase a secondary battery for it and carry it in a bag or something on your bike. Because you just never know if you want to ride farther, or the more that battery gets drained, the harder it is to pedal the bike as well. And I'm talking down, getting to about 20% or something like that on your battery. So it does make a difference. So carry that extra battery with you. I think I purchased a second battery on this 48 volt battery. I think I purchased a second battery for like $300 if I remember correctly. It's been about a year now, so I can't remember the exact price of it. Got to cross, see, about 3 or 4 little intersections here before I get to my location. Little crosswalk up here that I'll have to push the button because it's a pretty busy intersection on the next 2. Of course, today there's nobody coming across, so I don't have to push the button. Yeah, we got about a little less than half a mile now to get up to our location. Then I'll be getting off the bike and showing you a little bit about the bike. And then we'll finish up the video from there. And I hope everybody's enjoyed this ride. Like I said, I've put some comments down in the comment section what you think I need to change. Or
Average speed, 17.8 miles per hour.
yeah, my watch just said I just approached my 15-mile marker, so. And I'm about 14.3 on my computer on my bike, so they're fairly close. So till I get up there, the bike computer will show me I'm at 15 miles. On your left. Very warm. Coming up here on Xenia Station. Building was built back in the 1800s. Used to be an old rail trail station. So we're coming up on the halfway point here. And from here you can just go all four directions anywhere you want to go in Ohio. I'll pull around the back side of the building and we'll get parked and I'll talk a couple more minutes about the bike and we'll wrap it up till the next video. As I said, if you got any comments, put them down in the comment section for me. Okay, here we are. A little bit about this bike again. This is called the Aerial Rider Rideal. Of course, they replaced this with the Kepler, which is pretty much the same bike. It just got fat tires on it. Here is the battery. It's a 48 volt, 14 amp hour battery. It just slides off this neck here. And then, of course, like I said, I sync this Bluetooth from my phone from this egg rider here. I'll be changing the battery out here in a minute. And then I added these additional handlebars here, mainly for comfort. And it's got a Shimano 6-speed shifter. And like I mentioned, I did replace these with hydraulic brakes on the brakes. And of course, it's got a horn here. It's I don't use it too much. The Bluetooth speaker, of course, that I added. And as I mentioned, I did add the hydraulic brakes on this, and that's really helped on the brakes themselves. And on the back of this thing is a 750 watt hub motor. And what's good about this, if you break a chain as you're out riding, you can throttle home up here with this half throttle. So that's really nice, having a rear hub motor on this bike. And then I did add the rack on the back of this, as you can see. And I added these panniers that I can carry anything I want in there, actually. And I put another bag that is attached on the top, and this is where I carry my additional battery here. So that's a little bit about the bike. Let me take this off here and flip it around. I don't want to come off my helmet here very easily. But anyway, we finally got it off here. And as I mentioned, you got any comments you want to put down there, I appreciate that. And if you own an e-bike, put the information down in there about what you ride and how you like that bike, pros and cons. And again, hit the like button down there and smash that video, and I will see you on the next video.